On Sunday, September 13th, the Pro Terra Sancta Collection, the annual collection of offerings for Christians in the Middle East, will take place. In this Holy Land news, we propose the message of Brother Francesco Patton, Custos of the Holy Land, entitled To Revive the Memory of Our Christian Roots, and the appeal of Cardinal Leonardo Sandri, Prefect of the Congregation for the Oriental Churches, in view of this special appointment. The interview with Brother Ramzi Sidawi, Bursar of the Custody, and an in-depth examination of the Commissioners of the Holy Land, Fran-ciscan friars who act as a bridge between the faithful of the 5 continents and the Christians living in the land of Jesus.
This year, due to the pandemic caused by the coronavirus, it was not possible to take up the Good Friday collection dedicated to supporting Christians living here in the land of Jesus. This is why Pope Francis has accepted the request to move this gesture of sharing that concerns the whole Church to the 13th of September. Why September 13th, you may ask? Because it is the Sunday closest to the feast of the exaltation of the Holy Cross, which we celebrate here with particular solemnity in Jerusalem. On this feast we remember how far the love of the Son of God has come for us, giving His life on the cross for our salvation and reconciling us to the Father and to each other. This gives birth to a new humanity founded on solidarity and love. The cross still characterizes and accompanies the journey of the small Christian community that lives in the Holy Land and throughout the Middle East. A small community that carries the cross in the midst of situations of conflict on the one hand and indifference on the other. It is a small community that this year suffers even more because of this pandemic that has hit the whole world. For here now there are no pilgrims or any of the work linked to their reception, which allows many Christians to work with dignity and feed their families. Yet despite this, our small Christian community continues to resist, continues to be evangelical salt, leaven and light in a context that absolutely needs it. The collection in favor of the Holy Land is a small gesture of solidarity that the whole Church is called to make in order to support through the custody of the Holy Land the Christian communities that are in the Holy Land and feel the weight and also the glory of the cross of Jesus on their shoulders. It is thanks to you, Christians throughout the whole world, who give so generously, that we will be able to continue taking care of the holy places of Christianity, from the Holy Sepulchre to the Basilica of the Nativity and to the lesser-known sanctuaries. We will be able to support the pastoral action of the parishes entrusted to us. We will be able to guarantee quality education and learning to more than 10,000 students attending our schools. We can help young families find a home. We will be able to assist Christian migrant workers to feel welcomed even though they are far from their homeland. We will be able to stay close to the populations affected by the war in Syria and the refugees now scattered in the various countries in which we find ourselves living our mission. This is what we have tried to do during an 8 centuries long history in the Holy Land, and this is thanks to the help of Christians from all over the world. This is what we hope to be able to continue to do, thanks to the help of each of you on the 13th of September.
gesture of solidarity to support the holy places and the needs of the confreres in the land of Jesus. Cardinal Leonardo Sandri, Prefect of the Congregation for the Oriental Churches, asked for it just a few days from the Pro Terra Sancta Collection, the collection of offerings that takes place in all the churches of the world for the Christians of the Middle East. It is usually held on Good Friday, but this year, due to the COVID emergency, it has been moved to September the 13th.
Abbiamo dovuto cambiare anche il giorno della colletta per la Terra Santa, ordinata da Paolo VI e promossa da tutti i pontefici.
We had to postpone the day of the Pro Terra Sancta Collection ordered by Paul VI and promoted by all his successors, including Pope Francis. We thought we could have done this collection with more serenity. Perhaps we were too optimistic in the month of September, on the Feast of the Exaltation of the Cross, September the 13th. Shortly afterwards, Mary of Sorrows is also celebrated. So this closeness to the cross of Christ seemed to us a date, which the Pope then approved, very significant, because it brought us back, obviously not to Good Friday, which would be the day on which the collection is usually held, but to the cross of Christ, to his exaltation, to the finding of the relics of the cross of Christ.
Della colletta, ma alla croce di Cristo.
The Prefect of the Congregation for the Oriental Churches, who has visited the Holy Land several times in recent years, has not failed to mention the very special mission of the Franciscan friars. For over 800 years they have been committed to guarding the holy places on behalf of the Catholic Church, an important contribution to the maintenance of the sanctuaries, but also of the many schools, parishes, social activities managed by the Custody of the Holy Land, arrives every year from the Colletta.
La Terra Santa è soprattutto santa perché lì ha messo.
The Holy Land is holy especially because Jesus set foot in it. The Franciscans of the Custody of the Holy Land are those who care for the places where Jesus placed his feet and hands. We must all thank them because they are not only there, but they are missionaries towards all of us who arrive at the holy places and receive their welcome. We receive from them the word that explains the mystery of Jesus in the concrete place where he lived, where he was. Certainly the call to donate falls this year in a very special situation, with the world busy facing the consequences of the coronavirus pandemic. However, it is Cardinal Sandri himself who points out that in a time when it is difficult to travel, a pilgrimage of generosity can arise.
Di questo terribile flagello non usciremo se non con la solidarietà.
We will not come out of this terrible scourge except with solidarity. That is why the generosity of the poor, the humble, the rich, of all who give what they can for the survival of the holy places of Jesus and therefore for the living presence of Jesus is so important. We have all been able to live his presence during our physical pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Today, due to these circumstances, it becomes a pilgrimage of prayer, spirit, invocation and generosity to contribute to the support of all the holy places and all the needs of our confreres in the land of Jesus.
Dei nostri confratelli della terra di Gesù.
بفتخر إنه أقدم لكم حراسة الأراضي المقدسة اللي تأسست قبل 800 سنة على إيدينا القديس فرانسيس الأسيسي.
The custody of the Holy Land was founded 800 years ago by Saint Francis of Assisi. His purpose was and still is to guard and preserve the holy places where Jesus, Son of God, became flesh and lived and fulfilled the mysteries of salvation and redemption. The same places where his mother, the Virgin Mary, also lived. For 800 years and until today, the work of the friars has been extended to the entire Middle East. With the humility, poverty and simplicity of the friars, solidarity is still one of our main commitments today, especially towards the Christians living in the Holy Land. One of the main sources of support for the mission of the Custody of the Holy Land is the day dedicated by the Pope to the collection of offerings from all the Catholic churches in the world to be destined for the service of the Holy Land, a collection that is called the Good Friday Collection. Due to the difficult conditions of the whole world this year, it was decided to postpone this collection until Sunday, September 13th. This collection is the first and most important source of support for Christians in this land. The collection is used for schools and to support Christians, to create job opportunities and to provide the Christians with a welcoming home. In this way, living stones are preserved and local Christians are helped to remain in this land, to live their faith with courage. The friars also work to preserve the holy places where Jesus was incarnated and to allow all Christians from all parts of the world to come to these places to pray and revive their faith, and to be blessed by the stones and the earth that Jesus Christ touched. I hope that as one church, universal, united and in solidarity, we will help each other. I ask God to bless all those who love and give with joy and peace.
وربنا يبارك كل من أحب وأعطى بفرح وبسلام. شكرا.
La prima definizione di commissari è una definizione larga, non entriamo nello specifico.
The first definition of commissioners is this: they are bridges, they are ambassadors between the Holy Land and the local churches, the churches throughout the world, and as bridges they connect Christians from all over the world to the custody of the Holy Land.
I cristiani di ogni parte del mondo con la custodia di Terra Santa.
A service to the custody of the Holy Land that has very ancient origins. The commissioners were instituted in 1421 by Pope Martin V, while in more recent times it was Pope Paul VI who reconfirmed their role. Today there are 84 commissariats of the Holy Land in 44 countries. The friars minor committed to this service are 101. There are four major tasks to which the commissioners are called: the knowledge of the Holy Land and the invitation to the creative promotion of both the sacred places and the tragedies that inhabit this land, the need for people working for peace, the creation of initiatives of prayer and awareness for peace, and finally the continuation of the guide to the pilgrimage and the promotion of the pontifical Pro Terra Sancta Collection.
Il loro lavoro concretamente viene...
Their work develops first of all concretely in the promotion of the knowledge of the holy places, secondly in promoting aid to the mission of the Middle East. The custody of the Holy Land is supported by the commissioners by the promotion they do in different parts of the world, both for the sanctuaries, for the stones of memory, but also for the living stones, the Christians of the Middle East.
La memoria che per le pietre vive, i cristiani del Medio Oriente.
It was 2018 when all the commissioners of the Holy Land gathered in Jerusalem for the 4th International Congress, with the theme Pastoral Care of Pilgrimages, Hospitality, Memory, Evangelization.
De modo que los pueblos latinoamericanos sienten esto, vibran con esto.
The Latin American people feel, vibrate, manifest their faith in Jesus. We commissioners accompany this reality. We live in the midst of a people with much faith, who want to manifest their faith, who sincerely live their faith and collaborate with the work of the Holy Land.
Que viven sencillamente su fe y que colaboran con toda la obra de la Tierra Santa.
And my main responsibility is to animate the commissariat so that it can really be a link between the custody of the Holy Land and also the Fran-ciscans in the Philippines and the local church, particularly the different dioceses.
So we are working intensively to strengthen the relationship with the bishops, with the parishes, to promote Good Friday pilgrimages and the Good Friday collection, but above all we care about making the Holy Land known and loved.
The presence of the friars here in the Holy Land, we keep in mind that this mission continues, God's mission continues to welcome people, to accompany people, to be brothers to all peoples here in the Holy Land, and from the Holy Land to carry this message to all parts of the world, what God has in store for the future of humanity, a much more positive, much more hope-filled future than what we see right now.
This year, because of the pandemic, the Pro Terra Sancta Collection has been moved to September the 13th, the eve of the Feast of the Cross.
Le difficoltà quest'anno sono del tutto particolari come in ogni parte del
Difficulties
mondo.
this year are as peculiar as in any part of the world, but charity, which has always prevailed over difficulties, is based on hope. It ensures that we are willing to help, that we continue to ask for and to trust in providence, in the love of people all over the world in sustaining this mission, which is much tried and tested. There are no pilgrims. Christians in the world cannot come to the Holy Land, but the activities continue. The support for the shrines continues. The support for the communities continues. So the needs are the same, but the help, we trust that even beyond the difficulties, aid will continue to arrive.
Confidiamo che anche al di là delle difficoltà continuino a essere presenti.